You know how some people can make literally anything sound fascinating? It could be the most complex idea in the world, or something way, way simpler. Well, it turns out it's not magic. It's a kind of architecture. There's a blueprint for building influence, and today, we're going to walk through it together.
Okay, so let's put this to the test with a real challenge. How do you tell a great story about this? A Toyota Dyna. I mean, it's a global workhorse, no doubt about it, super reliable, but is it an exciting subject for a story? That's the puzzle we're going to solve. How do you take something so functional and make it absolutely compelling?
And here is our toolkit for solving that puzzle. This is a modern take on classical rhetoric. It breaks down 5 ancient ideas, ethos, logos, pathos, kairos, and telos, into 25 distinct strategies. Believe me, this isn't some dusty old theory. It's a practical blueprint for building a powerful story about anything. Yeah, even our humble truck.
So first things first, you have to choose your voice. This is ethos. It's all about the relationship you want to build with your audience. Are you going to be the expert, the trusted friend, the passionate advocate? This very first choice, it changes absolutely everything that follows.
Let's just see this in action. For the exact same truck, you could write 2 totally different books. If you choose the ethos of reputation, you become the expert. Your story is packed with technical specs, the 2.5-liter D4D engine, payload data, hard facts. But what if you pick personality instead? Well, suddenly you're the friend, and your story is a travelogue, built on gut feelings like how the visibility is unbelievably good. It's the same truck, but a completely different story.
Next up, logos. This is all about how you prove your point. And here's something you really got to remember. Proof doesn't just mean spreadsheets and data. The best evidence depends 100% on who you're talking to.
So you have to choose your mode of proof. You could use argument, building your case with hard data, 102 horsepower, 20,000-mile service intervals, or you could use narrative and tell the specific, relatable story of one 1998 Toyota Ace's epic journey from Japan all the way to North Carolina. Both are really powerful forms of proof. They just appeal to totally different parts of our brain.
You know, sometimes the most powerful proof is just one single number. There's a mode of logos called economy. For a business owner, this number is everything. Just 9.5 hours of service downtime over 60,000 miles. Think about that. That's not just a statistic. That's a direct return on investment. That's money in the bank. So you have your voice, and you have your proof. But in our world of nonstop distraction, is that really enough? Not quite. You need to spark an emotion. This is pathos. It's the engine of influence, designed to cut right through all the noise.
And pathos isn't just about making people sad or happy. It's a deliberate strategy. You could spark conflict, creating a whole debate around the notorious diesel particulate filter, pitting environmental policy against the hard reality for owners. Or you could build community by writing directly for import enthusiasts, speaking their language about rare double-cab 4x4s. One strategy creates friction, the other creates an incredible sense of belonging.
Here's another powerful strategy: resonance. You find something so unusual, so out there, it just stops people in their tracks. Take this, a 9-person, 6-door tri-cab from 1996. I mean, what even is that? The sheer weirdness of it creates a reaction of shock and awe, and that reaction is shareable, which means it becomes an advertisement for your story all on its own.
All right, let's move to the final 2 pillars, which are all about aiming your message. You've built your story, but now you need to connect it to the right moment. That's kairos, and give it a crystal clear job to do, and that's tell us.
Kairos is all about timing. It answers the question, why this story right now? You could frame the Dyna story as a current event, a solution to these crazy supply chain problems. Or you could tie it to a culture shift, making it the perfect vehicle for the whole van life movement. Or you could address a common scenario, creating a guide for fleet managers who are dealing with bad fuel. See? Same truck, but each angle creates a different sense of urgency for a totally different audience.
And finally, tell us. This is the ultimate purpose. You have to ask yourself a critical question. What job am I hiring this piece of writing to do? It's not just about sharing information. It's about creating a specific, tangible change.
And your impact can happen on different levels. At a basic level, your job might be to influence a choice, proving the Dyna is just a better buy than a competing truck. But you could go deeper. You could try to calibrate what people value, shifting their focus away from flashy features and onto long-term reliability. And the most profound job? Resistance. arguing that the entire system of emission standards is fundamentally broken and needs to change.
And this really just sums it all up, doesn't it? Without this strategic architecture, without a connection to an audience, a moment, and a purpose, all our facts and figures are just trivia. But when we build them into a structure like this, they transform into knowledge, maybe even into wisdom.
So, as we've seen, the story of a simple truck is never just one story. It is an architecture of choices. The final narrative we create is a product of conscious design, built by carefully selecting a voice, a proof, an emotion, a moment, and a purpose. And this brings us to the most important point of all. This framework isn't just for telling stories about trucks. Every email you send, every report you write, every presentation you give is an act of architecture. You are always telling a story. So the real question is, what story will you choose to build?